What's up, guys? It's Hook Punchers Paintball. Today we've got a product comparison video. We've got the new, or I shouldn't say new, the Powerhouse Counterpunch Regulator on my left. We've got the new Powerhouse Hook Regulator on my right. We are here to talk about some of the differences. They just released this Hook Regulator last week. We're super excited about it. Powerhouse finally now has a more budget-friendly option when it comes to the regulator market. So, with that said, make sure that you like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys after the intro. Nick with God Films in the background today. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate you. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, search God Films on YouTube because he's got all kinds of cool paintball content. So with that said, guys, let's get into it. We've got the Powerhouse Counterpunch Regulator. This is going to be your high-end regulator option on the paintball market right now. The Counterpunch has been tried and true, stainless steel construction, made in the USA. The guys over at Powerhouse are awesome, and they make a really high quality regulator that is not going to fail you in years. So with that said, we've got the Counterpunch over here. On my right, we've got the Hook Regulator, and the Hook Regulator is an aluminum option instead of a stainless steel option. It is going to be offered at $99.95, and it still offers really good quality build, but it is probably overall not going to longevity wise last as long as the Counterpunch, and that's what we're going to talk about here. So with that said, let's get into it. So first and foremost, you're going to be spending somewhere between probably $180 to $200 depending upon what color you want and everything else like that with the Counterpunch Regulator. You are going to get a nice regulator case. It does have a carabiner, so you can just attach that to your bag or whatever the case may be. If you choose to take off your regulator off your bottle, or say you need to fly, whatever the case may be. So that is a nice touch there, a little bit of extra added value as compared to just the box that the Hook Regulator comes into. But obviously they gotta save some money somewhere to offer that beautiful price point of $100. So on the Counterpunch side of things, you still get your two cards here, your quality control card that was processed. And then inside here, I believe there is a little parts kit similar to the parts kit that the Hook Regulator is going to have, which I'll show you guys here in a second. We're going to put that to the side, and then we've got our black Counterpunch here. Oh, the Counterpunch is white. I didn't realize that. I thought it was black, Nick.
Wow.
All right, so the Counterpunch is stainless steel construction. So your cartridge on the top, or your thread, I guess you would say, is stainless steel. The reason for that is because stainless steel is not going to wear down over time. It is stronger construction than the aluminum. So with that said, when you're screwing your tank in and out all the time, you're not going to have as many issues with the stainless steel threads wearing over time. I've had my Counterpunch for probably at least 2-3 years now, or some sort of Powerhouse. It might be a TKO, I'm not sure. My threads still look brand new, which is awesome. That was my biggest quirk with the Ninja regulators, was that over time the aluminum started to wear on them, whereas the stainless steel does not do that. Next up, you get micro gauge, which is very similar to the Hook Regulator, which I'll show you here in a second. Low profile burst disc, which is going to be the same on the Hook Regulator. And then on the fill nipple on the Counterpunch is going to be a direct fill port, meaning it bypasses anything in the regulator and goes straight into the bottle. I didn't even know that was honestly a thing, but I kind of got on the phone with Travis and was speaking about it, but it is the premium version, or the premium design, compared to the standard fill port on the Hook Regulator. And then inside there are going to be some key differences, and I think that's what we're here to talk about. So on the Hook Regulator side of things, you do get a box, you get your cards, and your little maintenance kit right here, which is going to be an O-ring, probably for, I would assume, the piston, as well as the little bit of oil there. That might be an O-ring for the actual threads, I'm not sure. But anyways, you get an O-ring. I would assume it's whichever one is going to wear the most, because that would make sense. Now, on this side of things, you can see that it's actually black threads, but the threads are aluminum as compared to the stainless steel threads on the counterpunch. So with time, that aluminum is obviously not as strong, and with time, those are going to wear. The question is, and I'm not sure about this, is whether or not they're going to offer cartridge replacements. I would assume that they are going to, whether that's through Powerhouse or Infamous. That would be super nice, because then that way you don't have to buy a new regulator. A few other differences on the Hook Regulator is inside piston is going to be an aluminum, and then I believe the jet is also aluminum, and the jet on the Hook Regulator is not going to be replaceable, which is what my little checklist here says. I believe you are going to be able to rebuild this, which is nice. You are going to be able to service the piston on the inside of this. On this side of things, you do get everything stainless steel. Okay, so from a longevity perspective, Nick and I were talking about this off camera. He asked me, basically what the difference is. Like, this is still going to give you quite a few years worth of longevity before you're going to have to maintenance it, meaning potentially put some new threads on it, potentially have to put a new piston in it, rebuild it. Whereas the counterpunch, realistically, I mean, it's going to last you for a very long period of time without probably having to do anything to it besides maybe replace your gauge, which, over time, normal use is just going to crack, right? Does that make sense to you? If it makes sense to you, it's probably going to make sense to everybody else.
I think it should make sense to everybody.
Okay. The other thing is that you are still going to be able to adjust with the Hook Regulator. You are still going to be able to adjust where your fill nipple and your gauge lie, which is, the first thing that was one of my questions. And then secondly, my other question was, are you going to be able to change your output PSI? So output PSI in this is going to be the same as this, which is 450 to 650, and it's changeable. With the counterpunch, you are going to need a special tool to be able to change your adjustment insert. But it is kind of nice because it is stainless steel inside. You just take your tool, turn it, and you can pretty much fine tune exactly where you want to be. Whereas with the Hook Regulator, there's going to be a couple shims in there with your wave spring, and you just remove those shims or put those shims in. So with this, you're going to be able to really fine tune your output pressure if you're of that sort that you really want to fine tune it. Whereas with this, you're probably only going to have two adjustments. I would assume it's like 450, 550, 650. I think that when we sell these regulators to customers, it's set at a good output pressure for most high-end electronic markers, and most people don't really tend to mess with it. Both of them have wave springs, so that's kind of nice from a consistency perspective. It should be pretty similar there. So basically what I explained to Nick off camera was, if you want something that's going to still offer you great performance out of the box and is going to cost, basically close to half of what this is going to cost, this is probably going to give you a few years worth of longevity before you have to maintenance it. The counterpunch is there if you want the top-notch quality, less prone to temperature changes and all that stuff, as well as just, probably, I'd say, 3 to 5 years worth of longevity before you have to do anything to it. So, does that make sense, Nick?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
So, you can adjust the output pressure based on what marker you have. That's what that's for?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
So, there's certain markers, like pneumatic markers, sometimes require higher output pressures. Most electronic markers really love the 4 to 500 psi, and that's what both of these are preset at. I believe out of the box they're at like somewhere between 450 to 550 psi. The big difference is like this one you can turn it, so like you can get, it's like an infinite amount of possibilities between 450 to 650, whereas with this you probably only got two different options. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because you can just turn that insert. So, and then the right case is nice. Oh, one last thing. The Hook Regulator is only going to be offered in black. If you want all the different colors available, you're going to have to purchase a counterpunch. So if you're not a person that wants a black regulator, which I think most people do, if you want something really cool, that is going to be a premium option with the counterpunch as compared to the Hook Regulator. Part of the reason that they're able to offer it at that $100 price point is because of the fact that they're annoying it the same every time. So, hope that covered everything. Hope I didn't get anything wrong. with that said, guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Both of these regulators are top-notch from Powerhouse. Make sure that you head on over to the website if you want any of these regulators, whether it's the Counterpunch or the Hook Regulator. Let me know what you think in the comments. I definitely think that this is going to be a very popular product for us. So with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys with the next video.